Research and evaluation in youth development practice. Think of all the evaluation that goes on in summer camp. You're 2 feet off the ground, wondering why you said you wanted to try new adventures, wondering if the foot blocks will hold, if your peers have your back, or if the counselor has a tight grip on the rope. You're observing someone else's technique, judging when to urge an anxious camper to go on or come down. You're sitting in a circle sharing stories about the last activity, realizing how much you learned and how exciting it is. Hi, welcome to Research and Evaluation in Youth Development Practice. YD stands for Youth Development. We also use the acronym PYD, Positive Youth Development. Traditionally, research and evaluation were often seen as the antithesis of positive youth development, something imposed upon or in the way of really caring about kids. But to get reliable data, researchers have to understand and respect youth or adult leaders. Fill in this form often translates, do this boring, meaningless exercise, or just tell me good things that you think I want to hear. For program leaders, building responsive programs demands astute observations and asking significant questions. Significant questions touch on what stakeholders regard as merit and worth. What can kids gain from 5 days at camp? What is a good quality camp? To get answers to these questions, researchers and youth leaders must work together on practical questions. How can evaluation complement rather than conflict with camp programming, and without adopting a biased perspective? How can we make the best use of questions and answers for all camp stakeholders? As I worked with staff at NC 4-H Camp Millstone, we identified 2 kinds of activities that were given enough time and effort to produce a change in knowledge, skills, or attitudes in a 5-day camp. Outdoor skills, such as archery, canoeing, and nature study, and cabin group life skills, such as communication, teamwork, and group leadership. Most 8 to 12-year-old campers had relatively little exposure to these areas, and most teen campers had not thought about or practiced these skills systematically. We also wanted to evaluate program quality from multiple perspectives: campers, camp staff, parents, and outside observers. However, the evaluation process needed to fit the flow of camp and be neither too big a hassle for staff nor a test anxiety experience for campers. We designed a list of basic skills and safety practices based on professional standards. The record for archery skills is illustrated. We ask instructional counselors to teach to these points, making sure that every youth really understood each point. We ask cabin counselors to keep track of individual completion rates by checking a participant log daily and asking for feedback during cabin group gatherings each night. Soft skills such as active listening, teamwork, and leading activities were modeled, taught, and reinforced in cabin groups through each day. Instead of using a bank of self-assessment surveys, such as those developed by the American Camp Association, and more appropriate to longer camps, youth were asked to write about these themes in a nightly journal following their cabin conversation on the topic. We felt that the surveys were not only too stressful and time-consuming, but too susceptible to several kinds of social desirability bias, overestimating change to please or impress camp staff. At the end of the week, campers complete their one and only survey, using electronic clickers to describe their experience of safety, support, skill opportunities, and so on. These traits were identified with programs that promoted positive youth development, and questions reflect what the campers are best able to describe. What was the camp like for them? These results are compared with staff and observer ratings, and used to debrief and plan improvements of the camp week each Friday. Records on outdoor skills and life skills are also included to monitor the process of managing activities and engaging all campers, as well as camper outcomes and comments. Later, we will use cumulative data from the whole summer, as well as feedback from debriefing sessions, to build training and coaching sessions for camp staff, prepare marketing, public relations, and sponsor appeals to broader stakeholders. Program and evaluation alignment is based on principles of understanding by design, a framework originally developed to help schools more effectively teach and measure learning. As noted, we began by identifying desired results, then estimating possible outcomes, finally planning learning experiences. Camp staff focused on skills acquisition, guided by quick and efficient protocols. As campers got a handle on skills, staff helped them to make meaning by connecting to broader principles and to self-confidence and self-regulation. Hopefully, these steps set the stage for extended post-camp skills transfer and applications that might be documented in a 4-H project book and journal, school portfolio, or follow-up interview. The Millstone Camp Study is not the most extensive or rigorous example of camp evaluation, but it does illustrate that research and PYD programming can be friends. In fact, must be complementary elements of effective programming. Action and reflection are core skills in non-formal learning and evaluation use. Camp staff find tools quite effective in helping them do their work, reach all youth, and build a useful database, all on a shoestring. Quality data shows program merit and supports the inference that summer camp builds PYD. At the same time, the approach is limited by conflicts of interest for both campers and staff. The brevity of camp, non-random audience, and lack of follow-up limit generalization to a larger audience. The potential for in-depth impact would be better with an extended study of youth development across multiple activities or multiple years of camp.